Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. I thought that I would do the Q&A/assumptions tag. I thought that that would be really fun to do, and I've been watching other people's videos on assumptions about them, which a lot of them have been like very funny. And it is kind of funny because when you think about like, what do people think, like what are the things that people just assume about me that like I don't even, like would never even think of. So it's kind of funny, some of the questions that I've been asked, and some of them have just been a little bit thought-provoking actually. So I'm just gonna read some of these questions to you and answer them for you, and hopefully that will help you guys get to know me a little bit better. And let's get into it. So the first question was, you're fit and athletic. Well, I used to be fit and athletic, and that was before I started having kids. When my husband's laughing at me. When before I had children, I went to the gym every single day, and I was very, very fit. I think I come from like a fit family. Like I have a dad that's like he's nearly 70, and he's very, very fit and works out all the time. And I think that like whenever I do work out, like it's very easy for me, but I have not done so regularly in 9 years because having 3 kids and having the job that I have, it just makes working out really, really difficult. I actually love working out. I love the way it makes me feel. I love the way my body looks, but gotta have to prioritize things, and sadly that has not been a priority since I had my son. I'm working on it. I really am. I really want to start working out from home. I've worked out intermittently since I've had kids, but never consistently like I did before. That is a very long answer to a short question. The next question, you were married to a doctor. The answer is no, I'm not married to a doctor. I am married to my high school sweetheart. We met when we were 17 and 18. He was 17, I was 18, and we have been together. We just celebrated like our 25th anniversary from our first date. He is a project coordinator at a big door manufacturing company in San Antonio. So no, he is not in the medical field. And what is another question? You come from a family with a lot of medical background. So I do have 2 uncles that are doctors, and but neither of my parents are doctors, and nobody else in my family are doctors. So it's just my 2 uncles and me. They are plastic surgeons here in San Antonio, and I work with them a lot. I do a lot of their anesthesia, which is a lot of fun because I've had a wonderful opportunity to get to know them better kind of as adults, because when I grew up, they were kind of like parents because they were older. And, you know, in the last 10 or 11 years, working with them has really been an awesome opportunity to just get to know them on a different level. So it's been really, really amazing. But neither of my parents have college degrees. My mom was working toward an architectural design degree when we were kids, but she ended up not finishing that degree because she became pregnant with my brother. So neither of my parents are college educated, but my dad is a self-made businessman. And I have the best parents ever in the whole entire world. I am like the luckiest person ever. And everything good that I am is because I have such amazing, fabulous parents. And I'm a doctor because my dad and mom were so supportive and helpful, and just like my cheerleaders the whole entire way through. So that is the answer to that question. And if you didn't go to medical school, you would be a teacher. So I never, you know, I wanted to be a doctor since I was a very little child. Like I remember saying that I wanted to be a doctor when I was 6 or 7 years old. Like I was always fascinated by like the germ. Like when I wrote my medical school applications, that is like what the intro line to my applications was, that I was always fascinated by the germ. And so as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a doctor. There was never a time that I wanted to do anything else. And when I was in college, in high school, I was really a huge debater. Like I did lots of debate. For those of you who have ever been in debate, I was like a very competitive Lincoln Douglas debater and extemporaneous speaker. And so I maybe toyed with being a lawyer for a few minutes, but when I went to UT and I went to undergrad and I was pre-med, I would run into people from high school from debate, and they were always shocked when I said I was pre-med, because I think the people that knew me in high school that did debate expected me to become a lawyer. But really, the only thing I ever seriously considered was medicine. For a long time, I did consider, this was before I knew of the challenges of medical school and residency and so on and so forth. There was a time when I considered going to law school after medical school to do medical malpractice law. But of course, by the time I finished medical school and I was 30, I was ready to start a family and like finally make some income. And so, and I was tired of studying and tired of taking tests. So, you know, that went on the back burner and I started a YouTube channel instead. So that's the answer to that question. Never thought about being a teacher. I do enjoy teaching. When I was a resident, I really had a lot of fun teaching the medical students. And I guess maybe you guys consider some of my videos teachable videos. So maybe that's why somebody asked that question. Maybe I explain things well. I hope I do, but I don't know. You can let me know in the comments below. You rarely have any downtime. Amen to that. I work a ton. I work 5 days a week, and I also work a lot of nights and weekends because I do a lot of obstetric anesthesia, which requires a lot of overnight call as well as weekend call. And so finding life balance is definitely a work in progress all the time. And I do have very little downtime. If I had more, I would definitely exercise. YouTube has kind of been like my hobby in the very small amount of downtime that I have. And it really is a hobby. I really have a lot of fun with this. And I consider it a hobby also in that it's a great way for me to like check out when like I become inundated by life stressors. So, you know, we all have like these life stressors every day, and we always have to, I think it's important for us to all have a way to like check out of that. Like, what do you think about when you don't want to think about the things that are stressing you out? Well, for me, makeup, YouTube, videos, video ideas, those are all ways for me to kind of like check out when I'm doing something stressful or I'm feeling stressed or there's a lot going on in my life. So in that way, I feel like it's a really constructive hobby. That is way more than you guys asked. So let's move on to the next question. You graduated from the top of your class in high school and college. Well, in high school, I cannot remember what my rank was in high school. While I was always a decent student, when I was in high school, I was not like this crazy motivated student. I graduated, you know, with honors and in high school, but I wasn't like, you know, valedictorian or like in the top 10 people in my class. I was somewhere in the top tier of my class. I just don't remember exactly where right now. And although I was kind of studious, I would not say that I was anything near as studious as like I had to be when I got to college or at medical school. So I feel like high school, I was so involved with debate that was really the focus of my time and attention in high school, and not as much my studies. And although I did fine in other classes, that was kind of the center of my life and my social life and my world. And so you know, getting like straight A's or graduating valedictorian or 1 or 2 in my class was just not a priority. You do have to get really good grades to get into med school. So when I got into college, I became very, very studious, and I spent all of my time in college studying because you have to do well. And I did graduate in the top tier of my medical class. So, so yeah, so that's the long answer to, did I graduate at the top of my high school and college class? I graduated from college with honors. I graduated from an honors program at the University of Texas at Austin, which was called the Humanities Program. And I wrote my honors thesis on medical ethics. I looked at what it was that caused normal people to become Nazis and Nazi doctors and do medical experimentation on other people. And then I also looked at the Tuskegee syphilis study that was done in the United States and kind of did a comparison between those two things, and dehumanization and you know, medical ethics. So that is what I did in college, and then I already told you about medical school. Okay, the next question is, you are very frugal with money and you are not a native Texan. Well, so the very frugal with money question I found to be pretty interesting, and it was very thought-provoking, and I thought about it for a while. I do not consider myself to be frugal. I definitely have very strong ideas about what's worth spending money on for me personally and what's not. And so in some ways that may come across to you guys as frugal. I don't know. So for example, if I didn't have a makeup channel, I would not care about my buying makeup on sale or not on sale. Like, I would probably have like an eye palette or two, a foundation or two, and I'd probably just buy it at full price because I wouldn't see a need to buy it on sale because I would just have one or two of them. But the fact that I have so much makeup and it's so unnecessary in my life makes me feel like it's not sensible to buy it when it's not on some kind of a sale. We all know we can get like 20% off at Ulta like every few months, and that Sephora has these big sales. So in my mind, it makes sense that if I really don't need something, I should at least get it for a sale. But, and then like, I definitely have strong ideas about like what it's worth spending my money on. So for example, I really like nice things. I enjoy nice things. I love jewelry. I obviously love makeup, but I do find that generally speaking, like my makeup taste is like right in the middle. Like there are certain things that I think are great from the drugstore, but I do like kind of middle to higher end makeup, but I don't buy like the super luxury makeup. Like you don't see me talking about like Tom Ford or Chantecaille or who else are the really expensive makeup brands, Kevin? Tell me. He's like sitting here listening to my videos, so I'm talking to him. So I typically don't buy luxury anything. I don't buy luxury makeup. I don't buy luxury handbags. I don't buy luxury shoes. I don't buy luxury clothing. Those things for me, just for me personally, I don't find that much extra value in them that would warrant my spending the extra money on them. So I'll buy a nice leather handbag that maybe costs $200 or $300 because I like nice leather handbags, but I don't buy Louis Vuittons or Gucci's or Chanel handbags because I just feel like they're so nice and so luxury that the price tag doesn't really warrant how much I like them, if that makes any sense. Does that mean I'll ever change my mind? Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe at a different time in my life, I will want those things. But right now, I'm not interested in luxury items. Where jewelry is concerned, I definitely, I have nice jewelry. I love jewelry. My husband buys me nice jewelry. So probably jewelry would be the one thing that I really do enjoy receiving, nice, beautiful jewelry. But other than that, I would not say I buy much luxury stuff. I just buy nice stuff. In terms of frugality, again, if it's easy to find a sale or get something for a good price, I probably would, just because why not? But I don't really consider myself to be frugal. Maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe I need to be more frugal. I need to be more frugal. I think I need to be more frugal. I'm gonna work on that. Next, am I native Texan? I actually got this question a lot of times. I am a native Texan. I've been in Texas since I was 3. I grew up in San Antonio from the time that I was 3. I have lived in Texas my whole life. I went to the University of Texas at Austin. I went to the University of Texas at San Antonio for medical school. I left for 4 years to go to Emory for my residency, and then I moved back to San Antonio after my residency. So I've lived in San Antonio almost my whole entire life. But the question that you guys have is, why don't I have a Texan accent? And the reason is because my parents are South African. So I actually had a South African accent till I was around 10. And at that time of life, you want to fit in. So you don't want to speak with a beautiful South African accent, even though I wish I did now. So I worked really hard at getting rid of that when I was 10, and that's why I just have like a very neutral accent, like not a Texan accent, but I'm pretty much a native Texan. I've lived here since I was 3, my whole entire life, although all of my relatives that are older than me have South African accents. My parents moved here in 1979 when a wave of people from South Africa were leaving because of apartheid and not wanting to raise their families in those conditions. So let's move on to the next question, which is, how does your spirituality or belief system play a role in your everyday life, makeup, and medicine? So I would not say that I am a super spiritual person. I am Jewish, but I would not say that I'm religious or super observant. And I would not say that my religion plays a role in my daily life or my daily decisions. However, and this is a big however, the biggest questions in my life, when I have them, I always look to Jewish teachings to answer them. So if I have a question about how to raise children or be a good spouse or medical ethics, the answers do lie in Jewish teachings, and I have taken classes on all of these topics by rabbis that I really, really respect. And those things that I've learned in those classes do guide me in my life. Not that I think about it necessarily on a daily basis or an everyday basis or apply it on a daily basis, but I try to use those things that I've learned as guiding principles in my life, because I think that the rules of Jewish teachings are sensible and moral and practical, like practical and applicable even to life today, in my opinion. You have a very good sense of humor and you are an extrovert. I think I have a pretty good sense of humor. I don't take too much seriously, especially in like this YouTube world. I take my job seriously. I take my family super seriously. But aside from those things, I would say that I have a pretty decent sense of humor, and I am definitely an extrovert. I definitely like to be around people and talk to people. So that is true. The next funny question was, I'm guessing you're an only child. I am not. I have an older sister and a younger brother. I will throw a video that I did with my sister up in the cards. It was actually really funny, and we need to do a follow-up because her skin is looking totally amazing. That's totally off the subject, but check out that video, and we are gonna do a follow-up sometime soon. And the next thing was that your husband is an attorney, but no, you already know he's not. And that your favorite color is blue. My favorite color is actually pink. It has always been pink. I love pink, shiny, sparkly things. Yeah, I love pink. Pink is definitely my favorite color. And then, do you ever self-tan? The answer is no. I have never ever self-tanned. I am like just very low maintenance when it comes to like the whole tanning thing. Like I just can't. There is definitely no time for that in my life. I almost never do masks. I definitely never do self-tanning, and I most certainly don't ever tan in the real sun. I used to when I was young, and I'm gonna pay for that, I'm sure, one day, because melanoma runs in my family. But no, I do not self-tan. No time for that, for sure. Who or what turned you on to the love of makeup? I always loved makeup. When I was a little girl, my mom was an esthetician, and when we came over from South Africa, she brought all this makeup, and it was by a French company called Jean de Vez, and she had all of this makeup in these drawers that was in a closet in our guest room, and it was like foundation and creams and skincare and all this different stuff, and I used to be totally fascinated by that. And then as I got older and older, I just got fascinated. I think my draw to makeup as I got older was that it was just pretty. Like it was pretty to look at. I thought that the packaging was pretty. I thought that the eyeshadows were pretty. I thought that the shimmer was pretty. That was kind of what drew me to makeup and got me interested in makeup more so than anything else. And then that just kind of grew and grew in the last like 7 or 8 years. Just kind of as a hobby, I guess, when I started watching YouTube, really. My favorite vacation spot is Colorado. I love Colorado. We go every summer. It is so hot in Texas, and especially in the summer, it gets like ridiculously, oppressively hot. And so we kind of escaped Colorado every summer, where it's so beautiful and cool and crisp, and we love hiking and we love the mountains. And Colorado is just my happy place. So that is my most favorite place to vacation. My second most favorite place to vacation would definitely be a beach. I love the beach. I love listening to the waves and just sitting on the beach reading a book. That is like the ultimate relaxation vacation, where Colorado is more like hikey and exercisey and like a lot of fun with the kids and adventurous, because we do like fishing and hiking and, you know, whitewater rafting, and you can do horseback riding. There's so much different stuff to do in Colorado. Beach vacation is definitely more of like a relaxing, chill out kind of vacation, but I do love that. The next question is, I assume your children are teenagers, all 3 of them or 2? And the answer is no, my kids are not teenagers. I started late because I did not start having kids till I was finished with med school and finished with all my boards. So my 3 kids are little. I have a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And then the last question is, what is your favorite form or way of self-care? I would say probably makeup. I don't exercise like I should. I don't, you know, I eat well generally, minus the sweets that are my like weak spot. But I generally don't do a lot of self-pampering stuff just because that's all time consuming. So I don't do like a lot of masks or massage therapy, or, you know, I think that exercise would probably be the best self-care that I could give myself at this point in my life, which is why that is like totally on my agenda. And that is my favorite form of self-care, but clearly not favorite enough because I haven't done it in a very long time. So, but it is. I would say that exercising and makeup are my two favorite ways of self-care. And in terms of makeup, I really do feel like when I walk out the door and I've just done a little bit to my face, like just a little, like a little concealer or a little lip gloss or a little mascara and brow products, like I feel like a new woman. Like I get out of bed in the morning and I'm so tired and I'm so worn out, and I look the part, and then I like just throw a little bit of makeup on my face and I feel ready to conquer the world. It makes me feel better about walking out the house. It makes me feel better in all my interactions. And I really feel like, ridiculous as it may sound, like makeup makes me feel like the best version of myself. So that is gonna wrap up my questions. This was fun, you guys. I think it was probably more fun for me than you because I think it was thought-provoking and I thought that the questions were interesting and I had fun thinking about them and kind of thinking about my answers. So I hope that you guys found that interesting. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. If you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. You deserve a medal. If you are not already subscribed to my channel and you enjoyed this video or you have enjoyed previous videos, I hope that you are subscribed. Hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified each time I post a new video. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.